22 to 23 years ago, parents and guardians around the globe celebrated the birth of some really, really special babies. At that time, all they wished for, these gifts of joy, was good health and happiness. They would clothe them, nurture them, feed them.
On August 23rd, 2013, you got some disturbing news from your doctor. Take me back to that day. What happened?
That came probably 4 years after I first started having problems. And I noticed it in my foot because my foot was slapping when I would walk. I used to be an avid bowler, so I had to stop that because I was falling at the line. And I was an avid cyclist too. I race a licensed racer. I've done 2,000-mile rides. I've done Senior Olympics and won gold medals and all this stuff. And I rode, I mean, that was part of my life. And so when I got that diagnosis, I mean, it was like, man, I can't do this, I can't do that. And it just changed my whole life, physically as well as mentally. I was always in good shape, never been to a hospital, never broken bone or surgery or anything. So it was like the curtains closed all of a sudden. So what in the world am I going to do now?
At what point did you begin writing?
Probably in the 60s, because I was an angry black man at about 19 or 20 years old. And I wrote a lot of things, but I would just file them away. And then I started writing to the newspapers. And one day I wrote a column to our black newspaper in Cincinnati. And they ran it, and then the editor called me and invited me to write a column every week.
As an author, educator, and activist, Jim has dedicated his life to empowering those who are most in need.
To date, you've written 5 books, and your last one being Black Dollars Matter. Tell me a little bit about that book and what the inspiration was for it.
I wrote 5 books on economic empowerment, and each one is what I consider to be an evolution in the whole process of us getting our collective economic act together. And my contention is that we are over $1 trillion now in aggregate income, black people, and yet we're still creating wealth for everyone else by supporting everyone else's business over our own. We need to leverage our dollars and leverage our votes. That way we have an impact on the economic system and the political system.
So let's switch gears a little bit. Talk about the love of your life, Sylvia. You two met at a convention in Chicago, was it?
We met after a jazz festival.
A jazz
in
festival.
Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, they have the big jazz festival there every year. And I went to this party and she was there. And we met. And we talked for a little while. Nothing heavy, just talked. We left. And about a month later, I found her again.
Yeah, found her.
Contacted her, and the rest is history, as they say.
Your daughter, Kaya,
Yes.
your pride and joy.
Yes.
You've seen her grow to be this beautiful and successful young woman. Talk about her a little bit and
Oh,
what she
God.
means
You got
to
3
you.
hours?
Yeah. What does Kaya mean to you?
I always wanted a daughter. So when we got married, I said, well, if God wants us to have a child, we'll have a child.
And he gave you one daughter.
And yeah, she came late in my life, obviously, but best thing never happened. 22 years ago, we were blessed with a daughter, and like you said, she's graduating from college, and we're very, very proud of her.
Around 22 to 23 years ago, parents and guardians around the globe celebrated the birth of some really, really special babies. At that time, all they wished for, these gifts of joy, was good health and happiness.
What does it mean for you to be at her graduation and see her walk across that stage?
That was one of my milestones. Because I broke up my life in milestones because I was 48 years old when she was born. And I said, well, I hope I can get to this point, and then this point, and this point. And college was a huge milestone.
Kaya Alexandria Klingman, summa cum laude.
College is, I mean, it's a milestone. I'd like to see her get married. I'd like to see children, grandchildren for me. I don't know if I will, but you know, those would be the other milestones.
So how did your family take it when they heard the news?
It was
how
hard.
did your wife and Kaya?
It was very hard. I was still in Cincinnati, and Sylvia was in South Carolina. Kaya was here in DC, and my wife was on the phone, on the speakerphone, when the doctor told me. And immediately, I mean, she just lost it. So I got in the car as soon as I got home, got some clothes and drove down to be with her. And I said, how are we gonna tell Kaya about this? It was hard. It was hard on her, especially her last year. And this past semester was the hardest she's ever had. Because I think the realization of it, just seeing me, you know, be different and deteriorate a little bit, you know, she's taken it very, very hard. And I'm just trying to see or help her to understand that this is her time now, that, you know, we've had each other for, you know, 22 years and much longer, I hope, but you know, I'm just trying to help her work her way through it.
The ALS Association made their way to Washington to pressure lawmakers for support. And with shows like Fox's Empire, as well as last summer's Ice Bucket Challenge bringing awareness to the disease, Klingman is hopeful that he'll eventually get the support he needs.
There's a petition going around here, like 700,000 people who signed it, to try to get this drug released by the FDA, to accelerate the release of it, because it has proven in some cases that it can stop the progress of the nerve degeneration. And the FDA takes years to do things like that. But the people who have it are saying, it's my life, you know, let me take it if I want to take it, you know. It's the only hope I have. So that's what the fight's all about, to get this drug approved, to bring more attention to the disease, and to get, like you said, Congress to act.
You had this huge dream moving from Cincinnati to South Carolina with your wife and starting a new life and growing old together.
That's right.
How do you plan on continuing that dream as best as you can?
For her to be able to retire, stop working at some point, and go and travel and do the things that she deserves to do, that we had planned to do. Every morning I get up, I'm serious. I think about, I wonder if God healed me last night. I think about that. You know, I put my feet down and see how I can get up, you know, and test my walking over to the bathroom. But I don't plan the day. I just pray to get me through this day, keep me from falling, and heal me, or restore me, strengthen me, do something, you know. Even though, you know, it may not happen, but you have to have faith in. You have to practice what you say you believe, you know. And I try to do that. And it's not easy. Don't let me make you think at all. It's very difficult. It's just a daily, if I get through the day, that's another day I've had. And I think it's good for everybody to look at life like that. All we have is now. Yesterday's gone, tomorrow's not here, so what do we have now? So we just try to make the best of it.